My name is Rich Narte Jr. I go by R1 Official. I'm an alternative hip hop artist. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Grew up here. Grew up a little bit outside the city in Ambridge, about 30 minutes away. Growing up, my childhood, music wasn't something that was normal to do in my family. It wasn't until seeing my family did art and everything where I was like, let me find another way to articulate myself. And music was always something that I just slowly started noticing that I was developing in. And it was like piano, messing around with the guitar. And then I remember thinking in elementary school, I did the flutophone in front of everybody. Like we had to perform it in front of all our friends and family. So the biggest inspiration, who I guess you could say, I can't do this interview without basically bringing up my grandma. She was my biggest inspiration because when I first started making music 8 years ago, she was the first person to believe in me. She was supportive. I'd play my music, and when she was in the hospital, she was very sick, and everybody in my family was so worried and concerned about her. And I came in there, and I seen her just laying on the bed and everything. And when she seen me, her eyes lit up. And nobody in my family at the time knew I made music. And I started making music with my cousin. And when we first started making music together, she would basically told the whole family. She was like, "Yeah, Rich and Andre, they make music, and they're really good at it. And I believe if they keep going, they're gonna be great one day." And that always stuck with me, what she said. And even though she's not here anymore, after me improving and going through all this work, I know if she believed in me when I was just starting off, I wasn't even that great, she would be very happy with how far I came now.
Top G, top G.
I'm the king of my city, might as well give me the key. Ain't a stock shit, cause they can't get rid of me. I feel like Tate, cause I'm a top G. I'm living my dreams, might as well take it overseas. You can talk when you came from the rubble. Shout out to my brody, wish I could've got us out the struggle.
Let's tap in with R1.
Got you too soon, you was humble. They killed you in the streets, you was trying to get around.
My current goals is I want to continue to inspire people, keep letting people know to keep going after their dreams and inspiring people to never give up. I want to basically inspire people how the artists that I grew up listening to, and basically just tell my story, and basically gets anybody, whatever they're going through, just gets them through it and just inspire people to greatness. The songs that I guess are my favorite is I'm Okay, and I'm Okay is about my childhood and how we all growing up. I performed at Village Park, and it was an amazing experience being able to see how the crowd engaged with my music. I remember we were I told everybody to put their flashlight out, and everybody was waving their flashlight. And as I was singing some of my favorite songs, like No Dream Girl, which was a song about a girl from my dreams that I brought to life and made into a music video. So really, I've been a part of it. I haven't done it in current time, but I really enjoyed it in the past.
My name is Bryn Reese. I'm from Northwest Ohio, a little town called Tiffin. So I grew up in Northwest Ohio. I grew up around music. Both my parents worked at a college called Tiffin University, and they actually started the music department there. And so growing up, I was around music, and I was around people who wrote songs, and I was around choirs and just music all around. It wasn't like classical music or anything. It was just like a cappella groups and songwriting and beat making and stuff like that. Music was massive in my childhood growing up, even though now I'm a sports communication major. My whole childhood, I was a part of dance and music. And I mean, I would, like, after school, my parents had small group rehearsals, like they had a cappella groups. And so I would just go to those rehearsals and sit there because I couldn't go home because my parents were at work. And so I would just sit there and listen in. And so pretty much all my free time, I was just sitting in rehearsals or listening to people make music. And I also took like piano lessons, and I taught myself a bunch of little instruments here and there. So it was a pretty big part of my childhood for sure. I became interested in making music probably just because I was around it so much. It wasn't so much I sat down and was like, I want to make music. It was just one of those things. I was around it so much that it was kind of not necessarily natural, but it was something that I saw as like a pastime and a hobby. I knew I didn't want to go into it as a career, but it was something that I just always did when I was bored. And so that's kind of how it is still today. It's a hobby for me that I just like doing when I need something to do. So there was a period of time when I really like wanted to like write and record and put out my music like as an artist. Just because a lot of my friends back home put out music and they're independent artists. And so I had a pretty big phase like 2 years ago where I was like putting out music a lot, and I guess like as like an independent artist I was very active. There's a song out called Over Relaxed that I did with my older sibling and my one friend, where we went in my one friend's garage and we put out 2 songs. One of them was so dumb, like stupid dumb song, but the other one I actually really like. I kind of listen to it here and there, like it's like a fun song to me. And another one I like that I'm a little harsh on is called Next Moment's the Last. And I didn't like it because it's corny, but I wrote it right before my senior year of high school, and then I put it out, and like a lot of people in my high school and a lot of people in Tiffin just really liked that song because it was very like personal and sad and very relevant to like graduating and growing up and stuff like that. So that's a song that's very personal and that means a lot to me, but I don't love it, but it is important to me. I could see myself maybe putting out stuff in the future. I think just because I came to Point Park and I got so busy, I never really have time to like sit down at my computer and like record songs, but I still write a lot. I have so many songs that I could record. But I'm also a crazy, insane perfectionist, and so as soon as I do record stuff, I'm just like never happy with it, and then it's just a endless cycle. But I do really want to get involved with like open mics in the Pittsburgh area and just the live music scene here. I know there's like a lot of really small bands and solo artists. That's something I want to get a little more into, like performing in like open mics and live performances rather than recording, because recording, I'm already behind a computer all the time. I'm a media student, so I'm always like editing videos or photos, and I feel like if I'm on a DAW making a song, I'm just like behind a computer even more. First off, performing at Point Park around people I know just made me I get really nervous in that, because I don't know any of these. I mean, I know them, but I don't know them, and I don't want all these people to know that I make music. And so I kind of just stopped. I still go to some of the Pioneer Rex stuff, but I stopped doing performances with them. Nothing against them. Pioneer Rex does amazing, amazing things. I would consider auditioning for the Star thing in the future, but it's one of those things I'm involved in so much here. You kind of have to let some things go. And so that was one of those things that I decided to kind of let off my radar.
Hi, I'm Eric Joseph. I'm a part-time faculty here at Point Park. I'm teaching a sound for animation class. Oh, the Sheetside Saints, we probably formed that band 3.5 to 4 years ago. We started that. So if you want a little background on that, me and 3 of the other guys, we had a band long ago. We started a band in the 90s, and we played a long time. And then, as things happen, you kind of, get busy, you're doing something else. So we've had about 3 or 4 inceptions of this band, but recently, in the last 3.5, 4 years, we picked up a bass player, added a bass player to the band that we had started up about 4 years ago. We were doing trio stuff and stuff without bass player, the bass player. And then he came out to a gig we did at a club for Christmas, and he liked the band, and he joined us like a month later, and he's been with us ever since. I like to think of us as primarily an original band. At any given night, 2/3 of our music that we perform is original music. A lot of it leans heavy towards blues, but I want to say it's like roots music. There's classic rock in there, there's surf music in there that we wrote, blues, reggae. We even have some pop tunes in, what I want to call pop tunes. So it's all over the place. We've played a few festivals, bars, restaurants. Some of our favorites, we really like playing at Steamworks Creative, Dorothy Six down in Homestead, Parkway Theater in McKees Rocks, and then up in Beaver County we played 68 Feed Mill, the Fallout Shelter, which we have a gig coming up this week.
All right, you want to try your vocal? In Kansas City.
as a whole, and I don't want to speak for every single band member, but I think we'd really like to get our stuff recorded as a whole. The whole band would like that. As far as performing out, I think each of the band members, we all have different goals in mind because of where we are right now with our families. My boy's graduating in May, and that'll free me up more. So the more I play out, the better. While other guys in the band, they still have kids or other responsibilities. It makes it harder for them. I think the keyboard player and I think if we could play every day, physically and logistically, we would. So I'd like to get into some of the festivals that go on around the country. I know a few people that they're touring those different festivals, and then through those festivals they get other venues to play. Some of them have even been signed by record labels. So that would be real nice. That's kind of like, maybe 3-4 years down the road for me would be nice. But a short-term goal, it would be real nice by maybe late summer, early fall of 2025 to have maybe a dozen places that call us back and book us regularly. First thing is, I think as far as getting your name out there, these younger people practice at home. Practice, if you're going to do with a band, practice with the band, but get out there and start performing. And then use social media, because that's one of the things I don't do enough of. But I think at the end of the day, I'm sick of looking at a computer anyway. So I think if we had a little bit more social media presence, old school Facebook, Instagram, hit YouTube more with fresh stuff, I think that's really the ticket. And then get your stuff recorded and get it on those platforms like Spotify and Apple Radio and all that, iTunes and all that stuff. Get your stuff out there, because again, that's one of the things that unfortunately we haven't been able to do. There's always something. A year and a half ago or so, I broke my arm. We were supposed to go in and do a few songs, get them recorded, get them on Spotify. That couldn't happen. And then now we've all just been busy doing stuff. There's really no time to get into the studio for us. So I would say stick to it, do your social media, but get out and perform, because there's probably for every 10 musicians out there, one person that's successful through social media, but not just because of the social media, they're also able to back it up by performing live.